With me now is Kristin Tate, Young Americans for Liberty analyst, great columnist, great writer and author. Kristin, okay, here's the deal. The Progressive Squad Democrats now say, yeah, keep defunding the police nationwide. I'm sure you saw this. Minneapolis politicians who demanded defunding are now desperately calling for help for police from other cities and towns. People are getting assaulted and shot to death in Minneapolis. What was your reaction when you saw this story?
It's horrible, Liz. This summer, the liberal Minneapolis City Council announced a veto-proof vote to dissolve its police department. Thankfully, that plan has not become a reality, at least not yet, but the department is bracing for a really devastating $1 million cut and also suffering from mass layoffs as morale among its officers is at an all-time low. Today, violent crime in Minneapolis is up 20% from where it was this time last year. It's gotten so bad that, as you mentioned, they're calling in police officers from other cities and towns. Defunding police hurts the poor, the vulnerable, and families of color most. People who live in high crime areas, they want more protection, not less. In fact, Gallup found that 81% of Black Americans don't support less of a police presence. The kind of people who push these radical ideas like defund the police, they tend to be, middle and upper income liberals who generally don't have to worry about crime. And these liberals are just prioritizing, virtue signaling woke political fads to their liberal friends over asking vulnerable communities what they actually want to see in their own communities.
Well, let's listen to a mother who is she's been feeling vulnerable. She's in Minneapolis. We aired this a couple of months ago on our show. We're going to show it again. She's saying, please help us. Where are you? As gunshots fly outside and helicopters fly overhead, I've got little children. Watch this shot.
I hear every little thing that's going on, police sirens, like the helicopters, the gun shooting, everything. I have 4 children, and I'll sleep with them all in my room because I am scared and I'm terrified that something is going to happen to them. Come here, meet with us, face us, stay here for a weekend. For the love of God, just come here and say something to us, the people that are freaking voting for you and depend on you to take care of us. Where are you? Show your face to us. Do something. Don't just sit there and let your city go down to the ruins.
Well, that's what's happening, right?
It's so sad, Liz. The people pushing this defund the police nonsense are so out of touch with the people who are truly vulnerable to crime. Not just that, a lot of the people pushing this defund the police notion are just total hypocrites. For example, this week, an official in Portland who is a big advocate of defund the police and says that most 911 calls are unnecessary, she called 911 herself when her Lyft driver canceled her ride. I mean, this is just another example of liberal hypocrisy. These people want, open borders, yet they live in walled-in, gated communities. They want no school choice, but they send their own kids to private schools in limos. And they want to defund the police. But of course, most of the people pushing for this can afford to live in safe neighborhoods. And many of them, including celebrities, have their own armed security. It's so sad because they are not prioritizing those underserved families who are truly being hurt by this poor policy.
And minority communities, as you've pointed out.
Exactly.
I mean, this is why there's a burgeoning, growing civil war with the far left versus Democrats, because the moderates are saying your defund the police push is slamming voters nationwide in districts that we are now losing. But so do you agree with that? I mean, we keep hearing that, but the progressive left is saying, no, we are in the right, continue to defund. And now Joe Biden may be calling for a national commission to study what's going on with the police departments. I think that maybe the study should be look at what's happening in the aftermath of the decisions. What do you think?
You're exactly right. A lot of minority families, working class people who live in the inner cities as well are waking up to this. And that's why Republicans did better than expected last week, because these radical Democrats are not appealing to working class people and those who are vulnerable to crime. So we'll see this civil war play out in the Democratic Party. But the further left these folks move, the more they will lose that valuable constituency to them.
All right. Kristin Tate, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much, Liz.